So this is one of my maple water collectors. You can see it's just a 5-gallon food safe bucket that I've converted. I have a 70 psi pump and a gravity backfeed valve so that when it pumps up the line, it releases the pressure so that it can backflow back into this bucket where I can heat the water. That way I don't get line freeze-ups. Now the 70 psi pump through this hose, it'll actually push any ice jams out of the lines. Inside this unit here, this is my brain box. I'm using the electric imp so that I have web control. It's got a wet foot. Picked the noisiest time of day to do this. On the bottom, you'll see I have a heating element. It's about 150 watts. The red sensor on the red water sensor on the bottom, that is a fail-safe so that it cannot burn up my heater. The blue sensor, it triggers a pump, and it'll pump for 114 seconds, which is what I have my line timed out that it needs. And after that it'll shut off, or if it reaches the red, it'll shut off automatically. And the black sensor up top sends me a text message if there's ever a pump failure or something, an overflow alert. I haven't insulated this one yet. I wrap a poly insulation, not a poly insulation, a bubble wrap foil insulation around. It also keeps the UV light out of the maple syrup. So that is my south driveway collector. And we'll take a walk up the line here. South driveway has 7 trees. There's Lonely Tree over here, which has one single line, no pump, just gravity into the pump box, and 6 other trees up the driveway. Now here the high pressure runs up over so I can get UPS trucks in and out. This is my evaporator tent. I'll show more on that in a moment. So the high pressure line is coming across this top line here on the garage. And it's just running down into a simple cold storage. I have a couple of these that I'll use here, or large tote over by the summer kitchen. But that's today's water flow. And it's pretty cold out and it's still flowing. Now we're come down the north driveway. So what you're seeing here is the high pressure line. And we start into the gravity. The black line is for gravity feed out of the trees. This way, if there's any ice or anything, it'll just melt and flow out. I'm never impeded by ice like some sugar camps are. And this is the north driveway collector, just like the south. A little skewed from the wind. So there's 10 trees on the north side. Yeah, there's 10 trees on the north side and 7 trees on the other side. I have 17 total. I make about 20 gallons of syrup a year. Nothing big, it's a hobby. So I'm walking back up the north line. Two taps on that tree. Larger trees. This one here has 4 on it. I'm using 3/8 inch wind's probably killing this. Okay, so here I have a pump controlled in the summer kitchen. This pumps cold sap out of the storage. Water, rather. Sap's bitter. So it'll be fun one-handed. Oh, warmer in here. I'm just turning on the fans. I just brought everything up to temperature. So this is my 4-burner setup. You can tell the pressure's dropping outside. It's really coming to a faster boil. That's unusual. There's 2 sets of camping burners under here that I just have run together. I think it's called Camp Chef or something. With just a trapezoidal plywood wrapped around it to keep some of the wind out. And this pipe here is from the cold storage. 100-pound propane, 14-inch regulator, spare cylinder. So I flip this switch here. This turns on my cold storage flow. Get the air out of it. Again, nothing in mine. I don't let any air in any of my, or any water in any of my lines. That way nothing's froze up. I have no impedance from ice. So I'll fill this up to within about an inch of the top. I cook in batches. This is a 45-gallon pan. It's 48 inches by 48 inches, 8 inches deep. Holds roughly 45 gallons. I will cook this batch until it is very close to finish, and I'll use a hydrometer to tell me, how close I am to the end. And when I bring it down to the end, I'll use an electric roaster to do like a gallon or 2 at a time. I think it holds 2 gallons. So the electric roaster will let me bring it down. I also just bought a stove I haven't set up yet. I could bring it over to that for finishing. I could also turn the gas down and finish on this table. I've done it in the past. I've also burnt down my summer kitchen in the past because I wasn't paying attention. So I'd rather use the electric. You can see this is just a Harbor Freight tent. I have a couple 20-inch box fans. You can probably hear them roaring in the background. Just to suck the hot steam out. It'll rain in here. I mean, without a proper vent hood, it just rains in here. But this seems to make it work pretty good. Pedestal fan just blowing air across it to help it evaporate away. If you get humid air stuck on top of it, it can't evaporate. So that's pretty much it. This is the Dennis Estates Maple Syrup Tour 2017. Bunch of junk everywhere, but it's been an early year and it's been a hard year. I've been working my butt off, keeping everything running here. So hoping those new pumps that we created, I hope they really help. All right.